Greetings and welcome back to Mina the Hollower. Last time we entered the crypt area as we are making our way to our very first spark generator tower. That is a mouthful. Anyway, it keeps evil away, we are its inventor, so it's our job to fix it. This game has many influences. One of them is obviously Castlevania. We're wearing red, we have a whip, all that jazz, so it's nice to start off with the creepy, haunted ghost area first to keep that vibe. We want the mist jar or the throwing daggers? I do love the throwing daggers, but the mist jar, very useful. Oh, it went away. Keeps my decision for me. Now, this skeleton dude down there is kind of weird. He will sort of take himself out, which makes me think that if you take him out quickly enough, you get a whole lot of bones. Watch him, there he is. He's gonna do it. No, he's not taking him, yeah, there he is. He kind of screams and explodes. I don't really understand what's up with that. A lot of games have enemies that if you take them out really quickly, you get prizes, and that probably is one of them. But he doesn't take him out, it doesn't take himself out quickly enough to make me think it matters. Throughout the dungeon, you're going to meet some unpleasant people. One dude in particular we'll get to very shortly later. This guy just doesn't want anything to do with you and will just run away, and you can talk to him all over the place. Anyway, it's just kind of weird. But moving on. There are lots of little places that have little Chaos Emerald looking bone stone gems around. It's just like a neat little challenge and you get bone stone for it. None of them are really necessary because throughout our adventure we will find plenty of bones either way, but having some extra bone stone to make it easy to buy stuff and level up is not a bad thing. And if you're completing the game 100%, you're probably going to want to collect all of those, but you really don't have to. This one is a little tricky here, getting the statue out without getting hit by the crusher. It's nice. When I played this, I was super sleepy playing it late at night, which probably made the obstacles harder than they needed to be, looking back in retrospect. Ooh. Some people are definitely going to have trouble with the, I guess, grid-based, tile-based platforming, they call it. Because, for example, like, you have to burrow under the statue head to pick it up, right? There's nothing really stopping you from just going all the way under it and going down the pit, really, other than, like, you and object permanence. So, yeah, you have to be careful sometimes. There's so many secrets in this game that you find yourself just going around just smacking all the walls and pressing on everything to make sure you didn't miss anything, but that does not make for good entertainment, so I had to kind of keep it snappy and keep it going. But oh man, if I wasn't recording, I probably would have just spent an hour in each room just touching everything, looking for secret passageways and trapdoors. It's one of those kind of games. The ghost that follows, the ghost head that follows you whenever you pick up a statuette is creepy and it's annoying, but it's actually not that annoying, especially for how things work in this game. They could have made it a little faster. I'm not complaining that it's not annoying, but oh, wow. This merchant, each dungeon has at least one merchant, and this merchant has a hella useful thing. So this trinket is one of my favorites. It magnetizes random pickups toward you, and that is useful because there's a lot of times when you're jumping over pits and there'll be something in the air, and you're supposed to artfully jump and grab it, but the magnet will just pull it toward you. It's so useful. Now, before we go on with that little Super Saiyan looking enemy up there, that little necromancer guy, one of the most annoying enemies in this entire game, by the way, instantly brings back any enemy you kill. Well, and he'll just keep doing it forever. So you have to prioritize killing him to stop it, but he can just fly over pits. And the more annoying the enemies around him, the more annoying it is going to be to handle those rooms with him. And imagine if there's more than one of them, which we'll get to. You take him out, and then you have normal enemies that can't bring themselves back to life, and it's fine, but oh, the first time I saw that thing is annoying. Fortunately, I've only seen them in this crypt, though, so they're not like a world-spanning enemy because, oh, that would... There are some parts where there are certain enemies that if they brought them back to life, it would be infuriating, honestly. And I guess you could use him to grind bones, but it's not ideal, honestly. There are plenty of bones to get. Even if, like, you died and lost all your bones numerous times, there's plenty of bones to level up and buy stuff. Way later. There we go. Now he's gone, and we can move on. But anyway, so the magnetization trinket is one of my favorites because whenever, like, you take out a boss or convert a bunch of bone stone to bones or defeat an area, there'll be like collectibles all over the place and you'll have to run around and collect them. But if you can just magnetize them to you, you'll just pull them all right into Mina, and it just makes life more convenient. Definitely not a necessary trinket, it's more of a convenience, quality of life sort of a deal, but oh, it's nice to not have to worry about missing items as they blink away as they take too long, or to be able to blast through rooms quicker, because like you can just tear through the room as all the items are just pulled into you. It's great. Now this is a pretty, like, if you played Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, this is a very Oracle of Ages, Seasons kind of thing. Like a door being blocked by two things you need to do. And in this case, we need the two statue heads to open up our way forward. I fell back down because I was looking for secrets at that part. I was frustrated, but it's all good because there's no enemies in the room, so you just go back up. But yeah, getting the two statue heads so we can move forward is a very, very Capcom style Zelda thing, honestly, and they got that vibe just right. There we go. Then it's just a matter of getting the statue head back. It's a pretty easy mechanic. Ghost head is annoying, but not, once again, not that annoying. There we go. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but the statue head itself is actually a pretty good weapon. Like with all the pots and giant rocks that Mina can pick up, you could just smack things to death with the other than, well, things that are alive. You can't kill the ghost head. That would be way too convenient. Oh, that ghost is a jerk. One thing that you do notice is it's pretty good about having pickups you grab survive even if you don't. You saw the statue head fell on the platform and didn't fall into a pit. It's pretty good at stuff like that, actually. There's a lot of things you'll pick up and they'll fall conveniently and you'll be able to come back and grab them later. Now, this room is crazy annoying because there's two of the necromancer guys. I don't know what they're actually called. And they will actually bring each other back to life also. And there's two kind of annoying enemies down there, at least take a few hits. Because if they bring back enemies that take, no matter how many hits they take, back to full health instantly. So you have to take them both out before they can take each other, before they can bring each other back. And it sucks if you're not fast enough. They'll just slowly chip away your health. But once they're gone, they're gone. Oh, my attack was terrible at this point in the game. Yeah, always bone up whenever you can and get that. Well, if you're having trouble with the game, I would say always focus on getting your defense up. If you're doing pretty well, I would focus on getting your attack up so you can get through rooms quicker. And sidearms is always like a side priority, unless you have some broken sidearm strategy or something. But yeah, that's the order. Attack first at all times, defense if you're having trouble, and then sidearms whenever you have to level. I think you have to level up all three before you can go to the next level. I actually never tried leveling up just a singular stat, but I'm sure the speedrunners and stuff probably level up just attack only. Oh, that's a creepy. I think there was a snake guy earlier looking for this person, and this person that they were looking for is super already dead. So we move on. Now, we are coming up on a weird, not really mandatory boss fight, but it's there if you want it. Hold on. So at this point in the game, I don't know if I did it, but I forgot. The bone stone converters, they will glow if you have enough bone stone to convert to level up, which is super duper convenient to let you know you can level up right now, dude, if you want to. It's very, very nice. Those bird flying enemies are some of the most annoying. They're throughout the entire game, and the stronger versions later, and they are among the most annoying enemies in the game because they fly at a weird arc to... They know you can only attack north, south, east, and west most of the time, but they fly at a weird arc to try to hit you at the diagonals to make it annoying. There we go. Alright. We got a boss fight coming up. It's a weird boss fight. So, this dude, I don't know, he's like a crypt keeper or something. He's just like a jerk. He just kind of... He smells like foot. And he doesn't accept it. He just thinks you smell bad, and he treats you like you're like a pariah. And if you tell him he smells bad, he freaks the hell out, and you have a boss fight. It's weird. Have you ever met someone like that where like I've met people where like they have horrible breath, and I'll tell them they have horrible breath, and their reaction to that is anger, and they'll be pissed. They'll be like, "There's something wrong with my nose," instead of just accepting that they need like a Tic Tac or just to brush their teeth. It's weird like that. I don't know why it reminded me of people like that in real life, but it does. Anyway, this boss fight's kind of weird. Very Shovel Knight-y, honestly. So he has quite a bit of HP, at least for this point in the game. The spikes are annoying, and he summons Fly. He stinks so horribly bad that he summons, like, familiar flies that'll fly around him and protect him and attack you. And they get stronger and more numerous as the fight goes on. It's quite annoying. But it is definitely worth doing this fight. Nope. So, there's a save point super duper close to this boss battle, so it's no big deal if you lose or whatever, like I did. But, definitely worth taking him out now, and it's not a fight you need to come back later when you're strong or anything. It is annoying because once his health gets below a certain threshold, he'll do these weird exploding fly attacks. And, you can take care of that by destroying his flies when they're around him as often as possible. Then it's just a matter of dodging his jumping on you moves, which are kind of annoying. But without flies, he's not really that threatening at all. I did not really do a good job of taking out his flies because they become way too numerous at a certain point. But anyway, when you take him down, you get the trinket Fly Bait, which I guess makes you stinky for real. What it does is, as you damage enemies, you will get these little fly orbitars that will orbit you, and they do damage to enemies. So, for example, when the annoying blue flying guys attack you, the little flies can actually like damage them or take them out and keep you safe. The flies fly in a tight circle around Mina, and they will, as you attack and fight, they will increase their radius to become more hostile, and it's a nice little shield. Reminds you of like Mega Man's kind of leaf shield, things of that nature. I don't think you can willfully shoot the flies at the enemies, and they definitely don't explode like they did for the boss dude, because that dude truly smelled like foot. I guess Mina doesn't smell quite that bad. But yeah, little fly dudes. If you're at this point, you'll start to be getting lots of trinkets that are useful, and you'll have to choose which ones you like the best. You can actually buy more trinket packs and find them so that you can hold more trinkets at the same time, which really, really is more helpful than it seems later on, because there are some certain trinkets that I have always on no matter what. There are some trinkets I have on whenever I have free space, like for example the magnetism trinket we have. That one's not really necessary for mobility or boss fights or anything, so I turn it off all the time. But I love having it on whenever I can, just for the sake of convenience. So you typically have trinkets you have for combat, you have trinkets you have for mobility, and you have trinkets you have for just convenience. And I wish you could say presets, honestly, because I have some go-to pairings of trinkets I go to all the time. It's all good though. Maybe next time. I don't know, like, they made a whole bunch of DLC for Shovel Knight. I don't know what their plans for Mina are. It's still really early. I don't know if they'll have a whole bunch of other playable characters or expand the adventure, but I am looking forward to whatever they do because, spoiler warning, I really do like this game. I like it so much that even if we don't get to do the whole game, like, I wanted to do at least up to the first tower, you know? I have recorded this whole game, so I could put this whole game up, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure how well the video would do on my channel, personally. Like, I'm sure other people are rocking this and loving it, but I'm not sure if my audience is super duper down. But if you guys are, I will put up the whole game. It's cool. It's a pretty cool game. But regardless, I wanted to have some record of this game so that, like, years later I could look back and remember that this game was really cool and I really enjoyed it. And even if we don't do the full playthrough, getting up to, like, the first boss will be enough. It's good. Speaking of which, as we approach the boss, this place is weird. Like, compared to the other bosses, I mean, I know it was earlier on in the game, but this felt like the hardest of the bosses, weirdly enough. It could just be like how I play for some reason. And there is a weird side quest at the end of this dungeon that you definitely should do that I will show later. And a lot of other dungeons weren't really like this, so this crypt was just really unique. Anyway, so you see the statue head there. You see this thing here. That will give you a bunch of different sidearms that usually lets you know you're coming up to a fight. And I think it has like the throwing daggers, the void axe, and another one in there. I don't think it does all the sidearms, but it is super duper useful to have. In case when you die, you lose your sidearms and you have nothing. Sidearms always reappear in the same place you found them, so you can always come back to wherever you got a particular sidearm and re-pick it up. So if, like, you really like throwing daggers and you know where, like, they appear in the world, you can always go back and grab some. They're good stuff. Here we go. That last statue head was for the boss. Creepy. Now, this boss probably wouldn't be that annoying, but throughout the fight, the arena is incredibly hostile because these switches will come up, which, as you have seen before, summon the arrows. The arrows will come out from the left and right throughout the entire fight, so you have multiple things to focus on. It's very annoying. Very annoying. And like I said, when I played this, I was sleepy, which was not the best thing to do. If I played it when I was awake, probably would have got a lot smoother, but it is what it is. And the music's pretty nice. Nothing crazy to write home about, but it's pretty nice. That boss has a very deceptively long slash, so be careful of it. It goes almost full screen, so if you're in front of it at all, you're kind of in trouble. But if you get, like, directly above and below it, it can't quite hit you with it. And I died. It's a good thing I died because I actually go back and explore a little bit, and I found the area with the side quest here. I didn't know there was a side quest. I thought it was just like another save point closer to the boss. And the closer the save point is to the boss, the more convenient it is, which is good. This is a very Oracle Zelda game thing. The sort of 2D-ish sections, like climbing up ropes and ladders and stuff. The perspective can be kind of weird if you're not used to it, but it was very nostalgic for me. Look out. So what we're gonna have here is we are about to encounter a guy who needs to be escorted. There are occasional escort missions in this game. They're not too annoying because usually when you die, the person you're escorting will stay where you died to save you the trouble, which is wonderful. Yeah, so this person shouldn't be here. They're trying to get back to the end of the crypt. and you have to guide them first out of this room and then through the boss fight area. He conveniently will stay wherever you are when you died, and during the boss fight, he will just wait there outside until you're done. He doesn't. It's not like you have to escort him during the boss fight or anything. It's nothing that inconvenient, which is really nice. I had flashbacks to when you had to escort someone in Link to the Past into the boss fight room, and it turned out that they were the boss. I thought they were going for that vibe, but it was not that actually, so I was surprised. I thought maybe if you brought him to the boss fight room, he might make the boss fight harder or something, but it is not that. He's just a nice dude, and he got a little lost and needed to help him find his way. Yeah, at this point, I was super sleepy. So tired that if I let you hear the recording, it's just kind of me mumbling. You should record yourself playing games sometimes and just listen to it, because it is pretty hilarious. When I listen to myself, I'm just kind of like, stupid skull guy, skeleton, sorts of deal. When you're not trying to be entertaining, like when you're recording, you sound kind of weird, and it's funny to listen to. That death just now is actually super annoying because, like, I died there and had to do this whole thing again. I think I had to do it 2 or 3 more times because I kept getting frustrated trying to speedrun it, and I kept dying on the spikes. Don't be frustrated when you play a game like this. Just take your time, do it right the first time, and you ultimately save far more time in the end. This dude will even conveniently wait outside the Underlab when you go down. I thought he would, like, go back to the start. And no, he doesn't. He's actually, like, a good escort person. It's quite convenient. Just ignore these dudes. Hit him in the bum. These guys, I don't know if I talked about the skeleton dudes, but they're, like, annoying. It's like, they're not, because, like, they're easy to dodge, but when you take them out, their, like, small version just tries to run on you, just sit on your hurt box, and just kill you. It's really annoying because they're actually pretty fast, so you have to either burrow away or take them out quickly. Anyways. I didn't mention it earlier, but there is a pipe on the right side that leads outside. There's always some convenient way to get to the end of the dungeons and back to the overworld, which I really like that world design. There are warp pipes, I don't know what they're called in Mina. There are warp pipes all over the game, and it took me a long time to realize what the other end, but you will find the closed end of a warp pipe, and you can actually sometimes see the piping on the ground that will lead you to where the pipe actually comes from, and it just makes it convenient to have shortcuts all over the place. We're gonna take it out now. Weirdly enough, this made me think that all the bosses in this game would have multiple phases. They do not. Yeah, this first boss actually has another phase. Craziness. It's weird octopus guy. Yeah, for some reason, just weird tentacle man. Take him out. Now, the statue head is on the field. It does not do anything. It does not take damage. It is just there for 2 reasons. 1, it gets in your way and it can hurt you with contact damage. 2, it can activate the trap panels to activate arrows, which is super annoying. Because you're pretty good about not hitting the trap panels and activating arrows yourself. But that little extra dude there just is enough little X factor to make it pretty annoying. But if you can kind of try and keep track of the boss, the head, and yourself on the field at the same time, you should be fine. If all else fails, just use the long-range sidearms. The throwing daggers have a lot more ammo than the Void Axe does, and you can throw them further. They also have an arc where you throw the throwing daggers in front of you, and then they come back to you, and if you move out of the way, they'll actually... So, the throwing dagger, you throw the dagger, it goes out and it comes back to you, and if you're not standing there, it flies unlimitedly backwards. So you can do some cool little trick shots. But that was unnecessary for this particular fight. Look at those big bones! When you beat big boss, you get huge bones. And a heart piece. So your health goes up. Yeah, when you level up your defense, you take less damage, but your health does not actually increase. You actually need to acquire and buy those little hearts to actually make your overall health larger. That is a thing. And you get the rose petals in a room wherever you beat a boss. That is nice. And thus concludes your side quest as well. There you go. Got some nice stuff. It's actually not too bad a side quest. You only really needed to travel 2 rooms away from where you find the guy. It's nice. Yeah, so I don't know if you got that from what he said or if I remember saying it, but that dude's actually dead. he needed you to help him find his way back to his crypt. And there were all those monsters in this place messing up. I don't know how he got out of there, probably because of all the evil energy going on. And then you help him go back to rest, and he's very thankful for it. Why you should do this? Because he gives you arguably the most useful trinket in this game. Especially if you are having trouble at all. So he gets in there, gets all comfy like. It's a nice little pillow, and he needs you to close it up. Push this back on. It's really heavy, it's a big stone tablet. And for your trouble, you get the Proto Spark. Alright, this might be the single most useful thing in the game. When you die, it will bring you back to life with full health. So it effectively doubles your health bar and gives you a second chance at life. It is a fantastic trinket. Once I turned that thing on, I have kept that on literally the entire game. Because there is no ability that can give you that is better than coming back from death again. That took the difficulty of the game down dramatically, as just having one more chance gives you enough to escape and save your bones, or it might be just a little extra push you need to take out a boss or deal with a difficult situation. So helpful. But anyway, our prize for taking down a boss and taking down a dungeon is we get a chance to repair a tower and do a pretty cool sequence. So the tower itself is broken, and we, as a hollower and the inventor of the towers, have to fix it. Which means we have to belay ourselves up the side of the mountain. Now, Mina will talk about using fuses, burrowing into them on the way up to reset the tower, which will make you think you have to burrow into all of them. You do not have to do that. It really makes it sound like you have to go around. What burrowing into fuses does is, once we start going up the tower, electricity will start chasing us up as sort of like a time limit. It's like auto-scrolling upward. If it hits you, you drop all the bones you collected on the tower and to start over. There's no real consequence other than having to start over, so it's no big deal. But if you hit a fuse, it will actually push the electricity back and give you more time. And there's plenty of bones and stuff on the tower, so that more time gives you more time to grab loot and stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm not super great at it, but it has cool music, and it's a nice little sequence. Let's go. There's a fuse, which I ignore the first time. I'm not going to make it up here the first time. There you go. You get hit, and you just drop down, and you start over and do it again. But anyway, it will take me 3 or 4 towers to realize this. I don't do it at all, but you have access to all your stuff. You have access to your weapons, you have access to your burrowing and all the stuff. You're constantly being pulled up, which makes it a little annoying to go back and hit things, but it's fine. You can even hit the fuses when the electricity is directly on top of you, and it's fine. The tower is usually themed after the dungeon you just beat, so you'll have enemies and obstacles of the nature that you had when you went through the whole thing, and it's fine. But eventually you will make it to the top. That first one I did terribly. I do much better later. But when you go up in the hole at the top, then Mina can do her little repairs. It's beautiful! Oh yeah, that first tower didn't need any repairs. You just kind of got to turn it back on. And in this case, she'll do something unique each time. This time she writes a letter. Dear Baron Lionel, I have just reached the first spark generator. Though the fight has left me battered and breathless, the Marshal of Ossex was right. Monsters prowled the tower's grounds, and the very ground around it was twisted and foul. But destroying these machines would be the worst thing we could do, unleashing something far worse than any of the horrors I have faced. We must press on until every last one is saved. With resolve, Mina. And there's her official stamp. And then, like Shovel Knight, once we've done good work, we take our rest. This has been Mina the Hollower. I hope you enjoyed it. This is just up to the first tower. Maybe we'll do more, maybe not. We'll move on to bigger and better things. But I am Mighty Z. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, be well, and goodbye.